See, migration means many things come into picture. Uh, Migrating VMs, migrating data, right? Migrating databases. So your customer may have different applications, correct? Web applications, databases, uh, load balancers, proxy servers, and they may have some storage for backups, all that. So migration is to consider everything. It's not just a VM migration or just a storage migration. So it's a broader stuff. So I'll not be covering, I mean to say, like database migrations, all that, but the main agenda of this session is so how to migrate virtual machines to cloud. So that's the agenda. And if time permits, we'll also see how to set up disaster recovery and how to fail over in case of disaster. That also in the plan. If we don't have time right for that, so let's plan that as a different session. So before we get started, so do you have any specific questions to me?
So can we speak or we have to put on chat?
Again?
We can speak, right? If
You
any
can,
questions are
yeah.
there.
Make it interactive. Definitely, why not? Make it.
So for this particular session, do we be having a recording available?
I'm recording it.
Okay.
So I have plans to send that recording again for all of you.
All right. All right.
I will do that. I will do
Uh,
that.
this is on premises to cloud, right, Hari?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Okay.
I will tell you. I will tell you. I will tell you. So first, you understood, right? So migration, you'll have storage migration. You'll have VM migration and database migration. So we need to properly plan. Okay. So when you have migrating tasks, right, we should properly plan. So one of the what to say hot topics in cloud computing today, it's migration. So if you go to interview, they ask most of the times, do you have experience on migrating workloads to cloud? So definitely it's one of the important topics and very useful for anybody who is learning cloud or who is looking at careers in cloud. And for this specific for this specific session, knowledge on cloud is required. So what is VM, what is S3? So the knowledge of cloud is required, at least what that's required. Okay. And there are many tools in the market, so many tools available in the market for cloud migrations. So today we're going to see a Cloud Endure. So Cloud Endure uh, is a company so which helps us to set up uh, migration workloads and disaster recovery stuff. So migration, you guys know, we have applications running on premise. Okay, that we want to move to cloud. So all of you know, uh, like cloud has become a trend and cloud has become a standard now. So every customer likes to be in cloud, no doubt. So many reasons for that. Again, that's a different story altogether. So now how we can migrate our virtual machines to cloud. So let's focus to this point and let's discuss that. And if you know any other tools, right, you can just list out here. We are fine to listen them. Okay. Right. I'm sorry, to switch here and there. Fine. Okay, that's fine. So Cloud Endure is the tool we're going to use for today's demonstration. Uh, so Amazon acquired this Cloud Endure. Today, Cloud Endure is AWS company. It's AWS company. It supports migrating workloads from on-premise and also from other clouds and same cloud. Your workloads could be on-premise. It could be other clouds. You may have applications running in Azure and you want to migrate them. Plus, uh, you can do this migration within AWS. So why within AWS? Maybe you want to have a disaster recovery site, right? Let's say your primary site is in Mumbai and you want to have disaster recovery site in, let's say, Sydney. We can use this tool for that. So it is, yes, it supports any cloud. It supports on-premise, it supports other clouds, and it also supports migrating servers within your AWS accounts. But this is more of AWS tool, okay? Yeah. So for our demonstration, the actual idea is to migrate a virtual machine which is running a small website from on-premise to cloud. But I don't have that facility on my laptop. So I'm going to migrate a virtual machine running in DigitalOcean. That's a different cloud. You can think of that as a VM on-premise. So, I mean, it is running in DigitalOcean cloud, but you can think that it is on your premise. So everything remains same, no matter where your virtual machine is. We want to migrate VM that's running on DigitalOcean to AWS using Endure. That's Cloud Endure. That's the agenda for today. That's the agenda for today.
But
So
DigitalOcean is again a cloud.
that's different cloud, yeah.
Okay.
Instead of, see, I don't have any on-premise setup. That's the reason I'm taking help of other cloud here. Make sure a VM is created in DigitalOcean. Okay, so that's a cloud platform. You can try it for free. Okay, you can try it for free. So I have my account. So what I did is I will better repeat if you want that to be repeated. So anybody can create this, no worries. I mean, the way you create your AWS account, right? Similarly, you can go and create a DigitalOcean account. So here, from your DigitalOcean dashboard, see create droplets. In Amazon, we call EC2. DigitalOcean calls droplets. Nothing but a VM, virtual machine. So here, choose the image. So I would like to choose Ubuntu as my image. Go down, choose basic plan, and choose regular one to stay in free tier. And go down So I don't want any additional block storage. Yeah, don't forget to say, yeah. So make sure you're selecting this. Yeah, okay. And additional disks, I don't want anyways now. And the region, choose any region of your choice. And VPC, leave it. You know, right? VPC is a network. So where our droplet runs, okay? Leave that, and other options simply leave. For authentication, you can choose either SSH keys or password. It's up to you now. So I have this key on my laptop. So I like to choose this as my authentication key. So if you want to change the host name of this VM, feel free to change that. Go down and hit create droplet. Okay. So if you, I mean, if you don't find the default VPC, things like that, you can check it here. So uh, networking. So VPC, huh? And you can create from here. Hey, what happened? Is that you can create a network? It's pretty much your VPC in AWS. Okay, that's okay. Go to droplets. Mm, I'm preparing my source machine. I'm preparing my source machine. So this is my source machine, right? So copy its IP address, log in from the terminal. So this is my terminal, okay? Default username of droplet is root. I have my key, right, configured. So SSH, username, IP address, public IP of droplet. And for the prompt, say yes. So on this machine, let's install a very basic website. So that, right, once we migrate this server to Amazon cloud, so we can see whether our website is working there. So apt install. See, I'm installing Apache software. So if you're doing it on Linux, the package name is HTTPD. And if you're doing it on Ubuntu, the package name is Apache 2, right? So yeah. This could take a few seconds. In the meantime, if you have questions, please go ahead.
So Hari, like we can plan for
was
migration from multiple VMs at the same time also.
We can do that, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
at what situation generally will people will migrate from one cloud to another cloud? Because I think Detailed Vision also one of the reputed company, and they are also offering good services. But is there any case? Is there any particular case to migrate from one cloud to another cloud?
Many reasons, right, Mohan? Let's say I'm on Amazon, okay? I'm a very big organization, and Azure is offering me some good discounts. So probably I like to migrate my workloads from Amazon to Azure or Azure to Amazon, anything like that. But here, don't scope your thoughts We are migrating from DigitalOcean. Okay. So even though our server is in DigitalOcean, says set your picture as we are migrating from on-premise.
So, sir, in real time, like we might have thousands of VMs. So, is this a process like we have to do one by one in migration?
You can automate this.
Okay, so through automation, we can migrate more than one VM in one go.
Why not? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So cool. We have our source machine.
Cost-wise, any difference is there? That means Amazon is offering somewhat cheaper price when compared with other clouds, or
I think Mohan, so you should come out of that perspective. Don't think why we are migrating.
okay.
The point is how to migrate. See why we migrate, n number of reasons, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So the point here is not why we are migrating. The point here is if you get a task to migrate, how we migrate. So there will be default index file. I'm removing it because I want to put my own content there. Vi var www html. If you are new to Apache, Apache is lightweight web server for hosting web applications. So after installing Apache, put your website code under this folder and that is deployed automatically. So because I don't have any fancy website here, I want to keep a simple one by creating index.html. Dummy stuff, okay? For the sake of demonstration, that's dummy stuff, yeah. So go to your DigitalOcean and this one, and yeah, so take its public IP. That's the application. So assume this is our source application, which is running in our own data center since years. So this machine, I want to migrate into my EC2 in AWS. Right. So we have source machine now, and I want to migrate that source machine to AWS. Cool. This is on-prem, and we have a VM, okay, and it has a disk, let's say, of 25 GB. It could have multiple disks too, right? But in our case, we have only one disk. This is our source, okay? That's our source. So I want to move this to my target. My target is AWS. Okay, that's AWS. So ultimately, I want my application to be migrated into EC2 with EBS as a disk. Right. So this is my source and that's my target. So for this migration, I want to use Cloud Endure. You can use any tool of your choice. Okay, that's the tool we are planning to use for the migration. So how this works actually. So I'll show how to log into this and how to set up a project. So how this basically works. So we should install agent here. We should install agent, Cloud Endure agent. So that agent will have all the details about your Cloud Endure account. So this agent starts moving your disks, okay, your bytes otherwise. So it will send all the data on this disk to a staging area. I'll do one thing. So I have that diagram with me. I'll show you. See this one. This is our source, okay? This is our source. This is our target. So in between, we'll have staging. Source, staging, and our target, that's AWS. So in the diagram, we are showing two virtual machines, 1 and 2. So this has 3 disks and the second one has 2 disks, means right, you may have n number of virtual machines for migration. So we will install Cloud Endure agent on this machine, on any machine which you want to migrate. So that will talk to your Cloud Endure. Okay, so Cloud Endure will set up a staging area, nothing but your EC2 instance. So, which is migrating all the disks here into a staging area. See there, we have 5 disks, right, in the source machine or source machines, and it's setting up instance. You can think of this as an instance where your data is continuously migrated. So first time it will take a while to migrate. Let's say this is of 100 GB. So for migrating 100 GB, it could take few minutes. And once it migrates 100 GB, all incremental data will sync in real time. Okay. So it needs a staging area. Then, right, once this is in sync, once you see that the data you see on premise and data you see in the staging area is in sync, you can launch your target missions. That's end of the story. So what happens, the disks and data that's on premise first gets synced into your staging EC2 instances, and from there you can set up your target mission, and eventually you can decompose that. Questions?
Do you need a downtime from the beginning or?
I have a question. So when we are saying
How about
staging
the
area,
downtime, Hari?
Okay, one person at a time. Yeah, please. Downtime. So downtime. So there will be a downtime. So when, I could say this. See, let's say your customers are connected to this, and we are setting up Cloud Endure to migrate the system. So when migration is happening, the customers are still accessing a website or web application. So here, right, here, when I have everything in sync in my staging, I can create my target machine. So then my application comes here. So I can have some mechanism to switch my traffic from the source to this. So if it is database, we will do it differently. But if it is a virtual machine, which is stateless application, So we don't think a downtime is required for this. So we should have some mechanism to switch the traffic from source to destination, I mean, to the target once your target machines are up and running. And eventually you can decompose these machines. Yeah. Other questions, please?
Hari, in the staging area, the EPS ones gets created automatically with the help of Cloud Endura, or we need to create them manually.
I will show you that. The
Okay.
cloud Endure takes care of this, but we need to give inputs.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
How much time it will take to convert the data from one?
It depends on the size. It depends on number of disks, the size, all that.
Okay.
Cool. So
Sorry, again, a small question again. Now, what you have spoken in terms of migration is about the static data, a kind of static virtual machines or something.
you can say static, but
Yes.
actual term is stateless application.
Oh, yes, stateless application, we can say. So now, how about if my application is dynamic, is using some dynamic data, which is continuously,
Maybe your RDS databases, right?
it can be that way, yes.
See, if it is your database, that is not stateless.
Yes, right.
So data keeps changing always in real time.
Yeah.
So you can check DMS in AWS. Okay. So it migrates databases to AWS RDS. So here, right? So your target machine will be always in sync with your source machine. So, see, in this case, what happens in Cloud Endure, what happens? Your staging will be always in sync with source, but we will not use staging as our target servers. So once you have everything in sync, we launch target. So this could take 1 to 2 or 3 minutes. So if it is a database, right, in 1 to 3 minutes, the data could have changed. Correct. So
Yes, right.
in our current situation, we are migrating a stateless application. So data will not change until we deploy a new release. So for databases migration, right, you can find a tool DMS. So where it keeps your source and target machines in sync. Okay. So maybe with a downtime of not downtime, just within a second, you can switch the traffic to this and decompose this.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No problem.
How about the network setup and security group, all this stuff, right? So do we need to set it up before migrate start or anything?
I will help you. I'll help you.
And this Cloud Endure, we have installed in the AWS environment, or is it a separate?
I will tell you. We are going there now.
Okay.
Is this
And
native?
let's say if
Sorry?
we are migrating like 20, 30, 40 machines or n number of machines, so this will be done at the same time, right? They
Yes.
all come into the staging area, and from there,
Yes.
this automated orchestrator process will launch the EC2 instances.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So one thing I want to say you that the whole process I'm doing here can be automated. But
So this-
if we go with automation, we lose the whole concept of migration. So once you have good grip on how migration is working, you can operate that.
And if we say automation can do this, so this automation, which automation platform we'll be using here?
See, Cloud Endure supports
Cloud Endure has inbuilt automation capability.
no, it has REST APIs. Okay, you can use Python, one of the good options to automate that.
Okay.
You can use Ansible for installing agents on your hundreds of machines. So we need to use a combination of tools for automating it. See what I mean, right? What I mean, let's say you have 100 servers for migration. So I can write Ansible playbook, so which connects to all hundreds of servers and installs agent. And that agent gets in sync with your staging area. And the remaining process, launching target. This also I can use API of Cloud Endure. So that's out of our discussion anyways now. So
Right.
let's not get into
Got
it.
it. Got it. Yeah.
Why? Because we lose the basic idea. I mean, let's focus on how to do it manually. Definitely after that, we can think of how to automate that.
Sure. Thank you.
So is it lift and shift, Ari?
It's pretty much, yeah. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, and we might run out of time if we discuss more theory. So next thing is get account with Cloud Endure. Or see, you have to choose this option. We're doing migration. You can click on this one. So just Google for Cloud Endure and choose migration, and it's taking to a page here. I'll do one thing. I'll put the link in the document, so you guys can refer to it. I'll also share this document with you. Step 2. Right, so I already have an account. So keep in mind, you have to create separate accounts for migration and disaster recovery. But I need to check if there is single license for both. But right now, what I see is there is a separate sign-in required for migration and separate sign-in required for disaster recovery. So I created this one. That's my email ID. That's my password. So sign in. It's easy to sign up. I have put this link over there. It is easy to sign up. So this is sign in. Okay, after sign up, I should sign in. So I have some project already. Leave that. I have some project already. Please leave that. Let's create a fresh project. Let's create a fresh project. So see, use this plus button, give a name. Give a name, hit create. Okay, so it takes you through project setup. Okay, and let's say, yeah, see, observe this here, Java Home, that's the name I gave for the project. And here, observe, it is migration. Okay, say continue. So I need to configure AWS credentials. Why? Because it's going to set up a staging area, correct? That staging area is going to be my AWS account, my AWS account. If you're doing this migration into your account, so you should provide the credentials of your AWS account. So get access key and secret key. So which used by Cloud Endure to set up staging account plus to launch target machines in your AWS account. So if you scroll down, you'll find two credentials there. See, one is, see, staging area account credentials. So you can have a different account, AWS account for staging, and you can have a different AWS account where you want to restore where you want to migrate your servers. But in this demo, I'm going to use only one AWS account. In the same account, I will have my staging stuff, and in the same account, I'm going to launch my target machines. So let's go back to this diagram again. So this one will be my AWS account. Even this one will be my AWS account. If you want this in different account and this in different account, yes, it's possible. Okay. So now I need access keys, secret keys, and what kind of permissions we need to set for that. The easiest way is attach administrator access. But in production, we can't do that, right? We should not give full access. So see this, the project must have these permissions. 1 minute. Configure for staging account, right? So create IAM policy. Access key and secret key. If you have confusions, please let me know. Right. So I have my account with me. Okay. So I want to set up, I want to migrate servers to my account, this account. Plus, I want to have my staging also in the same account. So go to IAM. So policy. So I said, right, you can use admin policy, but that's not a good idea. So create policy. Click on JSON. And from this Cloud Endure dashboard, leave this one. From this Cloud Endure dashboard, click on this. So that gives you a new tab, plus that gives you a proper IAM policy with specific permissions. Copy. Go back to your policy stuff. So I can give admin access. So if you have trouble doing this, you create IAM user with administrator permissions. Next, tags, I don't need. Review. Give a name and description, hit create policy. So once you have policy, create IAM user, go to users. I'll share this video, don't worry. You can follow along with that video. So I want programmatic access because I need access keys and secret keys. Permissions. So attach existing policies directly. The filter is customer managed, right? And this is the guy. So review, create user. Perfect. So don't expose this to others. So once my demo is over, you'll not find this, okay? So access key ID. And don't forget to hit save. So then it automatically goes to replication settings, means we gave credentials. All right. And we need to set up things like VPC, subnets, from where, what is our source and where we want to migrate, all that. So choose a source, you choose other infrastructure. If you're migrating from AWS to AWS, then choose that AWS specific region. So other infrastructure, and the target is ultimately my AWS. I want to keep this in Mumbai. Replication server details. Choose the replication server instance type. Nothing but this one. See, this is our replication server. Just a minute. This is our replication server, which is in staging area. Cool. Now, okay, I can close this guy. I'm choosing default. The converter instance type.
Excuse me, sir. Did you mention migration target Asian Pacific Mumbai?
Yeah.
We would have any options like that, Bangalore, Hyderabad, like?
It all depends, right? If it all depends on what your AWS supports, correct?
Oh, it supports on state and country.
Obviously. So AWS has only one region in India, that's Mumbai.
Oh, okay, okay.
So obviously, I can't.
That is the fixed region, yeah.
That is fixed, yeah. That's provided by AWS, nothing to do with the cloud NGO here.
Okay.
The replication server, and there will be one more temporary object EC2 instance created for conversion. So that also leave as it is. I mean, you can use a dedicated replication server. Let's say you have 3 machines, and for each machine you want a separate replication server, means 3 different EC2 instances. You can choose by clicking this. I'm leaving it. The disk type, I'm leaving it as default. So other stuff, right, you pretty much leave them as default. So if you want to make your migrations more secure, you can use VPN, because if you don't use VPN, the migration happens through internet. So if that is your concern, use VPN, and all your migration happens to you through your VPN connection. Come down, and just hit create replication settings. So we're done with project setup.
So one question. So how much workload will one replication server be able to migrate?
That's that actually depends, Adarshana.
Okay.
It all depends on how many disks, how much data you're replicating. So
Okay.
let's say you're replicating 3 different machines, which is having 300 GB each. And you're doing it through one machine. Obviously, that's a heavy load, and it takes more time for replication.
Yeah.
So that may be, so when we choose what is our source machine, based on that, we need to definitely make a choice on that. It's very generic, and there is no specific answer to that, I believe.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so now we are done with project setup. The next thing is adding machines. So for adding machines, you should install agent, cloud NDO agent. So for Linux machines, so what we have in our droplet, right? That's Ubuntu, correct? Our source machine is Ubuntu. So on that machine, I need to run these commands. So get this Python script to local, then use Python command to install that agent. The moment you do this, the agent is installed on your source machine, and agent talks to Cloud Endure with help of this token. See, this token has a lot of meaning. This token has details about who is the owner of that token. All that information is there. So let's take this. So let me log into my source machine. I believe I'm already there, right? So run this script. That's Python script. And run this script, Python 3 followed by the script. So what happens now, this guy will install the agent and it starts communicating to our Cloud Endure application, and it starts syncing the disks from source to target. So this takes some time. I mean, for 25 GB, it's taking about 40 minutes. But what I did in the offline, I did this before starting the session so that we can continue our discussion instead of waiting for these machines to be added. But let's wait for a few minutes and let's see that machine here. Then I will switch back to my other project where the machine is already in sync. So in the meantime, if you have questions, please go ahead.
Right now we have a single machine, right? Only one machine.
We have single machine. True.
In case multiple machines are there, then we need to install the agent through automation.
Yes. If you have 10 machines, you have to install agent on 10, what to say, different servers. Like I was saying before, you can automate that. See, I mean, once this comes up, I'll show you. See, add machine. There's a button called add machine. So that you can do from Python also. So what I did from Python, I mean from UI, those things I can do from Python as well, so that you can automate it.
We just need to add these two commands, wget and installer release.py.
Come again, little louder.
So we need to add these two scripts, right? If you're writing a Python script, we need to add these two particular one-liner scripts.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm talking on me. Okay, see, I'm saying you that this is to download the script. This script remains same on all the machines, but right, this token that will be different for different machines.
Mm-hmm.
So now this is done. You click on machines. See there. So it will take some time. It will take some time and it will change from why, sir? I don't know. That's okay, no problem. See, you have again add machines. If you want to add more machines, okay. Let me check this one. Is it same token or different token? 6, 7. Oh, I think it's same token. I'm sorry. I said every server will have different tokens. So once you have this token, using Python, you can automate the stuff like adding new machines.
Token is basically a token for Cloud Endure, right? To identify Cloud Endure machine. Am I audible? Yeah, so what I'm asking is the token is dedicatedly for Cloud Endure, right? It's a Cloud Endure identification key type of thing, right?
Yeah, that's true. So I got into a problem. See, I got into a problem. Click on it. Data replication is stalled because we failed to create a replication server. Here are some possible causes: insufficient permissions in provided cloud credentials. The subnet configured for replication server does not exist. You reached maximum, the machine's number limit. Okay. So, I mean, the possibilities are this. These are the possibilities, maybe insufficient permissions, all that. Let me do one thing. To this user, okay, this guy, right? To this user, I will add admin permissions and check just to troubleshoot it. See, I'm adding administrator access, means that token we are using will have this access now. Then let me rerun this. One second. So let me remove this. Okay. So just a minute. I'll share this with you now, the link. Guys, so I'm putting in chat window. So keep reference to that link. And in the same link, I'll provide the recorded session if you're leaving early, if you're dropping early from this meeting, okay? Yeah. So that takes a while. Okay.
So I have one question.
Yeah, please.
So how the connectivity is working from DigitalOcean to Cloud Endure?
Come again?
How the connectivity is working from DigitalOcean to Cloud Endure?
No, I didn't get it properly.
Actually, we have not set up any connectivity from DigitalOcean to Cloud Endure, right? How we are pushing that server to Cloud Endure?
You mean how DigitalOcean is connecting to Cloud Endure?
Yes, sir. Because you execute that command, and I think it's trying to connect to the Cloud Endure, right?
Cloud agent, right? Yeah, I got your point. So how? 1 minute. See, it's successfully installed. This token is main. The agent is Cloud Endure agent, correct? And I'm pointing to this token. That's how it recognizes you.
Understood. So the concept I understood, the logic I understood, but what I am worrying is how the connectivity is there, open connectivity is there from DigitalOcean to Endure.
What can you give specific things like what connectivity you're talking about?
So if I give, so for example, so I mean, this token is something like some username password, isn't it, sir?
You can think like that. Yeah?
Something passes authentication. Yeah. So I mean to say, so if I'm giving the username password, then how someone can connect to Cloud Endure? So is the Cloud Endure is open to connect for any source, something like that?
No, I didn't understand the main point behind the question. See,
okay.
one minute. Go ahead.
Okay. So basically, if system A wants to communicate to system B, then we have to open the firewall between A and B.
True.
Right. So, but here, sir, we did not do anything, but how the system A is communicating to B. So that's what I'm trying to understand. The connectivity, how open connectivity is there between two systems.
Okay, what is the mechanism? Okay, see, on your source machine, okay, from your source machine, the communication happens to your staging server over 15,000 port, 1,500 port, I'm sorry, 1,500 port. So there should be a TCP port open on your source machine. So which gives outbound access to your staging server on 1,500 port. Now ask a question.
Okay, so I mean, any cloud provider can connect to the Endure over that port, and that is open.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Understood.
Yeah. So now see this, the replication started. So looks like earlier the permission was an issue. So after giving admin access, it started working. I didn't do much there. So, but I said, right, it's going to take 30 to 40 minutes. It's going to take 30 to 40 minutes. And I don't want to wait for 30 to 40 minutes. Okay. And I have shown you how to create a project, how to configure the project, like adding access keys and secret keys of my AWS account, where I want to set in my staging server, all that. Cool. So let this go on. I will switch to a different project. Okay. Like I said, right, I set this one before I started my session because to save time. So if you see, it is in continuous data replication. Means what you have on the source is exactly what we have on our staging server. Just a minute. So this is the account I'm using. Let's go to EC2 instances. Okay. See, I'm doing two things, right? I'm having two projects here. That's the reason you see two instances. Okay, don't worry about that. So now the source machine is equivalent to this staging machine, meaning what you have on source is exactly same as what you have on your staging. Okay, now I want to bring that machine, which is on my DigitalOcean, into AWS. Okay. So generally, as a best practice, what we should do is we should launch a server in test mode. This is to make sure your migration is happening proper. So launch test mode means this will launch a machine in your target account, and you can test that machine. If it is same as your source or not, you can test it. So click on it. One thing, so I could say continue. It says you are about to launch one new machine. My destination is Mumbai for one source machine. So each source machine for which a target machine is okay, blah, 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 blah. It's going to launch a machine. In that machine, so the complete disk you have on your DigitalOcean, right? That disk will be there on the target machine. So like I said, it's a best practice to do that. Before doing that, go back to your machines. Okay. And you will find blueprint. Very important. You'll find blueprint. In source, you'll get the details about what is your source machine. That's details about your source machine, which is in our DigitalOcean. So blueprint. So when your Cloud Endure migrates your server to AWS, it uses this settings. So what should be your machine type? You can choose any of that. I'm just leaving it. I'm sorry. There will be some issues here. So some instance types will fail. That's what I observed while I was trying this out. Some instance types will fail. So better choose C5 large. Launch type, I'm fine with on-demand EC2 instances. Subnets, so you can prepare your own subnet. It's up to you. Let's say you have your own VPC, subnets, routing, security group, NACL, that's also fine. So for this demonstration, I'm saying create new, security groups, create new, okay? You have options to copy same source IP. I mean, So this is private IP, not it can't copy public IP, correct? We can't have two public IPs with same. So same source means this is the IP. If you like to keep same IP in your target machine, you have that option too. But when you do this, make sure your subnet settings all is in sync with this, right? The CIDR ranges should be within this, only then it can create that IP. And one more problem you could find is in Amazon, if you take a subnet, first 4 IPs are reserved. 0, ending with 0, 1, 2, 3. And last IP is reserved. So if you go with this, you'll be in trouble. Why? Because this IP is not available for you. I mean, ending with 3 is never available for you in a subnet. So better create new. So it will create a brand new IP based on your subnet CIDR stuff. Elastic IP, I don't want. Public IP, yes, I need that so that I can hit my web server through my browser and see if it is migrated. I don't have placement groups. If you have any IAM roles, choose that. These things we can leave it. So this, you can keep it a standard one. Save the blueprint. You got it, right? So this blueprint is used by Cloud Endure for launching your target machines. So if you don't set this, it will use all default values and it will launch. Okay. So then go to machines, select this, click here, launch the machine in test mode. So it'll take a snapshot and it will launch instance from that snapshot. This could take a while. You can monitor this progress under jobs. So job started waiting for latest snapshot. So if you want to monitor what's happening for the button, I mean for the action I perform, you can monitor here or you can get here also. So soon you'll find one more server which gets created here.
Very quick question, like once we establish the project and it's in the replication status, if on the source side a new disk gets added or an existing disk gets resized, so do we need to rerun that token or it will pick it up automatically?
No. If new disk is added, the agent takes care of that. You don't.
So it's sorry, go ahead.
You don't. I mean, your question is, let's say right now we have only one disk, and agent is running, and we added one more disk. What happens?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So the agent takes care of all of that.
Oh.
Generally, when you are migrating, we will not add new disks, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Just want to know, like any sort of resize happens or the new one gets added, so the agent will take care. Okay.
That's fine. No problem. Okay, you see this one, M4 large. That's a converter machine. This is not your target machine, converter machine. From converter, it creates your target machine. So it takes a few minutes and use this time for your questions.
Will that pick the same tier, Hari, the target one?
What is that?
Tier instance type tier in this.
No, we are setting that in blueprints, right? I mean,
okay, yeah, okay.
This one, blueprint.
So
yeah. What instance type, what should be the disk, public IP, all that. It uses this blueprint for launching our target server. So this will come up and go off. This is just a converter server. It's a temporary one. It comes up and goes off. And after that, you'll see your actual server coming up. This one, see this, Java home website. That's the actual server. And see that it's using C5 large because machine type I gave C5 large.
Hari, sorry, one more question. Like during the CDR, any sort of network interruptions happens or the cloud and error site goes down. So the replication will be happening continuously in the backend.
If cloud endure goes down, no, your replication should not happen because you see this architecture. You see this architecture. There is a communication happening from your staging area to cloud endure. But I'm really unsure. If this cloud endure itself goes down. I'm not really sure what happens. Probably we should check with cloud endure itself.
Okay. So this cloud endure is only for the block side of data. Any network file shares also can be done from cloud endure. Okay.
No, I think not. Only disks it can not.
Okay.
And one more thing, let's say now there are changes happening to source, okay? Those changes will not reflect in your target machine because the replication happens only to your replication server, this one. So did you get me? So this is the replication server, right? So, but the target machine is created for testing through a snapshot. So meaning, right, changes happening to source will not reflect in your target, but it will be there in your replication server. Keep that in mind, yeah. Hey, this could take a while. Bear with me. It's running, but status checks. Yeah, it's still initializing. Yes, so it looks like working now. See, that's the IP, and that's our application. So let me also check the source one, what is there in source, which is our, hey, how come? We see a difference in the color, right? Don't worry. Don't worry. The reason is I have two applications. So what I did in Java Home migration, this is in gray. Okay, I said before I started this session, I already had one machine in sync. That's in red. Don't worry, it's working. So what Cloud Endure says, at least set up your test machines 1 week before you're going to actually launch in the target. So test it. There is nothing much to test here. It's working for me. So once it is this way, okay, don't get confused. This is an actual project. Go to machines and see, you see this green link means it is tested already. So after you test it, we say cutover mode. So when you click on this cutover mode, now your actual target is launched. That's the end of story. So then you eventually decompose your source machine, and you route traffics from your customers to this new one. You go to job progress, and yes, cut over launch. Just taking a snapshot. That takes a while.
So we can perform this test cutover every now and then, like because we are not sure what amount of data has been changed on the source. Is that right, Hari?
No. See, the idea is to migrate, right?
Correct.
So what you do is now you decompose this. Your source machine, you terminate it because the source machine is migrated to AWS now. You got it, right? I don't need it anymore.
No, my question is like once we have performed the test, right? So before performing the actual cutover and after performing the test, if there are lot of data has been changed, instead of directly performing a cutover, can we do a one more test one more time?
You can do that, yeah, why not?
Okay.
You can do that. See, it's kind of removing that instance, old one. See, it's terminating it. And it will launch one more instance, that's all. And close your source instance. So that's the overall story of migrating a virtual machine from on-premise to cloud. And that's all from my side as well. So for more information, right, I recommend you guys to check Cloud Endure documentation in terms like if you're facing issues. So the Cloud Endure documentation is the place to check.
Sure.
Here you could see this network architecture as well. It's giving more information about, see, 1500 port should be open from source to your cloud, and all data moving from source to your staging area, that's always encrypted. It is secure. It's always encrypted. Plus, there is some handshake mechanism from Cloud Agent to Cloud Endure server. That happens through 443. Means your servers should allow outbound 443 and outbound 1500. These two. If these two ports are not open, the process will not begin. Always a converter comes up generally. After that, your actual machine comes up. So anyways, that's all from this session.
Sir, I have one doubt. When you started this migration, means once you started migrating from Cloud DigitalOcean to Endure, so by that time log, it will take data, or it will take data on a real-time basis, like means after some time, like 30 minutes or 40 minutes of time, So it will keep that data as well, or it will just keep data once you started the migration?
No. You mean from source to replication, right? Your question.
Yes.
Okay. This one and this one will be always in sync in real time. So initially it takes time to, if you have 100 GB disk, so initially it takes time to migrate all that into your staging. After that, all incremental changes will be in sync in real time.
Okay, so once we are performing test case, so by that time we will be having all real-time data in the replication.
Yes, application will always have real-time data, but your test instance, right, that will have the data when you created the test machine. So after you create a test machine, changes in source will not reflect in test machine, but it still reflects in staging.
Sure. Got it, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so see, that is that gets into stopping mode, then it starts eventually. Any other questions? Okay, it seems no further questions. So anyways, thanks for everyone for joining this session, and next week we'll come up with one more session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.